Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is a Thursday. Is it a Thursday? I don't know. I don't know where the week's gone. Do you feel? Do you feel the same? Just tell me. I don't know. I go to work. It's Monday. I'm like, I blink. I don't know where the weeks go. But anyway, it's autumn. Oh, can you feel it? Can you feel the change? Oh, it's been nips. I'm making sure that the wood has been chopped and it's there, ready. We've been making fire already, but here in KwaZulu-Natal, if the temperature goes below 22 degrees Celsius, we're making a fire. I'm a bit of a, what do you call them? Pyromaniac. But I don't set buildings on fire. No. But we've got like 3 fireplaces because I love making fire. So, yeah, just give me a chance and I am making fire. Guys, it's turned and it happened so quickly. And I don't know if you had that same feeling, but I see that blue in the sky. There's that lovely crispness in the morning, and it's the best time to walk around the garden. And especially when you turn around and you can actually see your footprints in the dew. It's like walking in reverse on the beach. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. And for me, it's a beautiful time in the garden. From a timing point of view, there is so much to do. And you really have to plot your weekends, guys. You seriously have to plot your weekends and set aside hours of gardening. And no. Don't like roll your eyes at me. Stop that. You have to. Because if you don't put the work in now, you are not going to get the blaze and kaleidoscope of color that you can get with very little effort in winter and in spring. True story. And do not end up like a lot of gardeners do, suffering from the ultimate gardening sin, which you might fall prey to if you haven't watched and paid attention to this or shared this with a friend. Maybe you don't want to share it with a friend, but anyway. Because if you don't do the work now, you are going to suffer from one of the 7 deadly gardening sins, which is called jealousy. Jealousy. And it's going to be like, oh, because you're going to walk to your friend's house, you're going to go there, and you're going to have like tea or bread or whatever you do, chop and dop, and you're like, your garden is looking nice. This is like now end of winter, early spring. You'd say, maar is mooi, né? That's mooi, yeah. And then you're going to say, what are the names of these flowers? And you're going to try and get the names, and then you're going to rush off to builders and try and buy those plants. Well, you might get some, but a lot of them you would have had to have planted. Too late, she cried. Too late. And there's you looking like Shrek, green with envy, because you cannot have what they have. Anyway, today's going to be lots of fun. I've got so much to share with you, and welcome to all of you. I see there were a lot online way before we even started, and as Murphy's Law has, we had a major power outage in the entire district. So we were running a generator down there with a very big cord, and then, hallelujah, the power came back on. So we now have Wi-Fi, and I can talk to you, which is fantastic. So let's say good morning. I see there's some newbies. Courtney's from Saudi Arabia. Courtney, good morning. Heibel. Okay. Shan, good morning from Howick. Marlene from Port Alfred. Oh, good place. How's the spotted grunter? Maybe I'm not meant to ask that. If you want to know what it is, you're going to have to Google it. It is a fish, but it's more than a fish. Elaine, good morning, y'all. Bridget, hello. Debbie Burton, good morning from Leisure Bay. Debbie, yes, I'm recognizing this from Leisure Bay. Lynn, good morning. Lionel, good morning. You're new to this. New to the chat. Good job. Welcome to the family. Hopefully you're going to get inspired, and you're going to be cancelling all appointments for the rest of the day, and you're going to rush out and get all your gardening goodies. Jean, good morning from Granberg. Yeah, winter's coming. Winter is coming. What is that, Game of Thrones? Winter is coming. Yes. Oh, you were lost at Strubens Valley. Yes. Oh, man. Guys, there are lots of Builders Roadshows coming up. My next one is in June. So if you want to know where that is, I'm not going to give it away. If you want to know where it is, check out the Builders Facebook page that you're currently on, or on my Facebook page, which is Tanya Visser. So go and keep an eye out. Enid, good morning from Cape Town. Esther from London. Oh, she's from London. I better stand up straight. Very exciting news. Very exciting news. This is like off topic. Guys, for the first time in 4 years, I think it's 4 years. Is it 4 years? For the first time in 4 years, the Chelsea Flower Show. That's like the Olympics of gardening. Chelsea Flower Show, where they all go dressed up very, very smart. It's very, very smart. I actually have to, when I do go, if I do go. But guys, it is the Olympics. It's the who's who. And the South Africa used to exhibit the most amazing activation, display, showing off our finest. One of our wonders of the world, which is our fynbos. Yes, it's one of the wonders of the world. And due to funding issues and we haven't been there for the last 4 years. And guys, I have to do a shout out here to my friend, my guru, Mr. Keith Kirsten. He's about this big, and he is just dynamite, and I love him to bits. And he, on his own, together with like one other person, went out there and found the money. They raised the money, guys, and it's not 100,000. It's not a few ronds. It's a lot of money is needed to get the team over there and to build this amazing display, and he did it. He did it. And thank you to all of those who have reached into their pockets and sponsored. So South Africa is going to be at the Chelsea Flower Show. And if you want to know what's cooking, who's going to be doing the design, well, it's our world famous, homegrown Leon Kluger. Leon Kluger, who just won gold in China of his most amazing display. And if you want the inside route, as they say, keep an eye out on our social pages, because we'll be giving you blow by blow on how this is developing. So it is a huge privilege. We've been involved in a little way, and it's like goosey stuff, Anyway, guys, let's talk gardening. So, first of all, yes, petrol's expensive. Bread's gone up. Milk. Well, where should we go? We all know it. So how do we get the garden that we want? How do we get the dream when that blue note is only so much? And how do we make it stretch? Okay, and we're going to make it stretch this way. One of the finest, best ways to get the color in your garden, and guys, I talk about this all the time, is through the beauty and the miracle of seeds. Guys, this is no rocket science. The seeds are here. They are fresh. They changed. They have expiry dates. They work. So sow them now. Grab your few packets of seeds, and I'm going to guide you as what you should be sowing now. And whether your garden's this big or this big, there's space. There is space. And I'm going to start with color, because color is what we need. And guys, whether you're in the Highveld, whether you're on the coast, or even whether you're in the Western Cape and you're having some rainy, dreary days, or in the Highveld where it is brain, that's tough brain. Winter becomes depressing. So we need color to brighten it up, because color is the mood therapy. It is. So do it now so you can have it later. And really, there's some very, very easy things. So I'm going to start with this. If you've never done it before, sow these, guys. You have all seen the beautiful pictures. Namaqualand daisies. Come on, you've seen the pictures. It's like the iconic of the fields, and the zebra stroke quagga, whatever it is, half breed, in the background there, chewing on some little flowers. Have that in your garden. Have it. They indigenous. They really don't need a lot of water. Seriously. Most important part, is like every packet of seed. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's like every packet of seed. The most important part is in germination. Those first 10 to 12 days. That's when you got to make sure that you are home, okay, and paying attention. And you set the alarms on your cellular device so that you can go and water them. That's the most important thing. But from choices, there's Namaqualands, Allison, beautiful pansies. Come on, it's pansy time. Dis geskiet. This is a must, and you know I love these because I talk about them so often. The Californian poppies, insanely beautiful, bright cherry, grey foliage, will grow anywhere, literally will grow anywhere. Of course, cornflowers, spectacular. Bees and butterflies, like magnet, absolute magnet. And the Shirley poppy. Look, it's red. They're beautiful. And I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to do these. And ultimate. Oh, what's broken? Oh, caramba. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Stay on the call. Stay on the line, caller. Book by Fakies. Their botanical name is Mesembryanthemum, but I'll ask you to say that word fast 3 times. No, it's not possible. Book by Fakies, low, compact, beautiful for like on the edges of pathways or near a little rock garden or even in pots. They're fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give you the Lightning 101 on, and of course, sweet peas. And we spoke about sweet peas last time. So, and if you want to know more about sweet peas, guys, just check out the Builders blog because there are many articles and videos there on how to get the most out of them. So please, just pay attention. Okay, you can get it right. So, and you'll see these seeds that, Mace, come in closer here. I want to show how, and I really think, I think this is where the big man upstairs, he's really like, you humans. I'm going to show you a thing or two. Look how small those seeds are. Look how small they are. Caramba. And I know those of you like me that are graying tigers, you're like, you hold the packet like here and you're like, oh, hold it there. What's it say? Huh? I can't read the instructions. Okay, but when the seed gets very small, don't sneeze. Don't sneeze, because when you are preparing to sow this packet of seed, is it this one? Oh, it's my book by far. I've got to save them. Oh, got to save them. Okay, well, just look here. First of all, why are we doing this? Okay, I don't know where this is coming out, but anyway, look at all the seeds. Okay, just, oh, come on, baby, come on. There we go. Okay, we're going to save the seeds. So this is actually falling perfectly into my plan as to how to get it right. Now, it will tell you. Oh, this is the part that makes me laugh. It says, you can sow them direct. Their spacing should be 15 centimeters apart. How are we going to get that right? Honestly, when the seed is this big. Okay? Because when you've got to sow it, yes, and you've got to try and space it, you're never going to get it right, guys. Come on. I mean, even the best, like the most advanced gardeners don't get it right. And then what happens is, oh no, this is killing me. What happens is we end up sowing them and we end up with clumps, like forests of book by fakies coming up all at once. And if we don't thin them out, if we don't do that exercise of thinning them out, they fight amongst each other. It's like putting 17 ADHD children in a Corolla. 1 or 2 are going to come out alive. You know, survival of the fittest, that kind of thing. So when you put them all together like this and they're all coming up and they're in this bunch and they're fighting for space, it's not going to be great. Your end result is not going to be fantastic. So what do? We do the following. Okay, so if your seed is fine, this is what you do. If your seed is fine, first of all, germination, we're all impatient. Guys, impatient. Yes, we sow it, we go running back. 1 hour later, nothing. Day 2, nothing. Day 3, we start losing faith. Day 4, we've considered ourselves the worst gardeners in the world. Day 7, ADHD's kicked in, lost interest. Guys, the 7 to 12 days of germination, because each seed germinates at a different rate, is the most important. So increase your medication, do whatever you've got to do, but keep focused. So one quick tip that we've got for increasing germination is the following. So it's this stuff. It's called Calpac, and what it is an auxin. Now, I can go into auxins and cytokinins and all those fancy things, but what they basically are, it's an amino acid that is a stimulant for plants. It's a stimulant. And what it does is it really helps germination. It helps germination. So what you do is you take 10 mils, dilute it into 1 liter of water, and it's got the cap here for your measuring, which works out quite well. Okay. And then give it a shake. Oh, and by the way, you can give this to anything, guys. If a plant looks like it's got a cough or it's got a runny nose, you just give it some of this. You know, mix it with your normal plant food that you use. Mix it in and just give it a good dousing. Now, we pop some of this into a bottle, okay? And we add the seed. We're soaking the seed, much like we do with our sweet peas. Whatever your seed is, you pop it in there, you soak it over there. Soak it for a couple of hours, soak it overnight. It just helps. It's going to help the germination. I can go into 101 reasons why it does, but just trust me, it does. That's for another show. Right. So once that's done, you're then going to drain off the water. How do you drain off the water? With a sieve, okay? Which I probably don't have anywhere around me, but we're going to make a plan, and I'm going to do this. So we're going to take that off. Okay. Right. Now, pretend this is a cooking show. Pretend that we have now got our seeds. Okay. I'm going to pop them in here. Not ideal. Sieve would be better. Okay. Get all my seeds there. Now, they've been soaking, which means their exoskeleton, what is that? The hard outer bit on the seeds that protects them from when hohos are coming along and the ants want to take them on another little journey, on a little drive-by, all right? It helps with all of that. Okay, you're going to get the idea. Now, the seeds are still fine. They all clump together. Now what we do is, because remember I'm going back to, they must be 15 centimeters apart. Like, are you serious? Okay, now there are 2 options over here. Number 1, you take a bit of river sand. Ordinary river sand, okay? Little bit. And you add some river sand into your little bucky, okay? And you mix it up. So now my seeds are dispersed into the river sand. Okay, and you can add more, really. I mean, there's no ratio here, guys. You mix it. Okay, then it comes time to sowing. So if you're going to sow directly into the garden, from here, you've prepared your soil, you've turned it over, you've added in some compost, you've raked it, you've added in some root builder, okay, to improve your germination and get those little guys on their way, okay? And then what you're going to do is you are going to sow. And this is what makes it easier. And I'm going to jump to that sowing directly right now, because normally when sowing directly, we're going to use some bigger packets. Like if we want to do this beautiful packet of Namaqualand daisies. I mean, there are lots of seeds in here, guys. So what I do is, and this is what we do at home. We do this all the time because it reduces the risk of error. Okay, so all I do is empty my packet into there. Okay, empty it into there. I then take my palm peat, which of course is stored in here, my palm peat, which used to look like, you know what that block used to look like? It used to look like this. And then I add a whole lot of palm peat to this. Okay. And you can either do river sand or you can do palm peat. The reason why I like doing palm peat, guys, is because of the following. Because the palm peat does a couple of things. Number 1, what I really like about it is that because a lot of seed is paler is quite pale. All I do now is I mix it. So I can actually see the seed when I mix it. Okay. And palm peat also holds water. So, and we know, we've said that the biggest issue in germination is the water that we give them. So this is going to help like our human errors. So all we do is we mix this, and I mix this, prepare my soil. Once it's well mixed, I then go into the area where I've got, and all I do is I simply take this and sprinkle it over. Okay, now imagine if I'd taken, and I'll do this. I've got another packet here. Imagine if I'd taken the packet straight into my hand, okay, and done the following. Do you see the difference? Look how close those are. Here, we've got space. Okay, and that is what I want you to do. Now, that is in the garden, okay? This would be if we were sowing into trays, and it's the same principle. All it is when we take our seed now and we start sowing into our trays, is that we know we're going to get that better spacing, which is what we want. Okay, which is what we want. Okay, so I'm on my seed saving mission. I don't know about you guys, but I am OCD about saving seeds. I mean, it's quite a thing, but very important because there's a life here. It's everything's waiting. It just needs us. Okay, this I'm going to have to clean up later, but never mind. All right, couple of tips when you are sowing seeds into trays. Because it's getting cooler, yes. And yes, a lot of these seeds that I have recommended to you do prefer the cooler climates, but even although they enjoy the cooler temperatures, they still need warmth to germinate. And the warmth comes from the soil because we've come out of summer. So what I do recommend, if you are kind of a bit nervous about this or you're not too sure, is get yourself one of these. It's called a unheated propagator or mini greenhouse. Comes like this from your local builders. All right, once you've got one, look after it, you'll have it forever. And here's your little tray. And if we had to take our book by Fahey's, and look, we can actually see where we're sowing the seed. Why? Well, different in color. So it does make life a whole lot simpler. Now remember, fine seed, very small seed, like pinhead, you do not need to cover it. Don't cover it. Okay, it's too fine. You literally are going to just sprinkle this. But there is one thing that I do need you to do. And you see this, the river sand is now acting as a little guide for me where I can put extra bits in. And there we go. Okay, don't forget the label, okay, of whatever you're sowing. So we're going to quickly do this here. Book by, what's today's date? 18th. Oh, look at that. 18th. In you go. Right, hallelujah, hallelujah. Last thing I want you to do, very, very important. This is super important. This is the part where you become a hero or not. Okay, is the following. I want you to take a piece of wood, anything like that, and I want you just to firm it down. Because it's this process. It is the process of getting it in contact with the palm peat, of telling it. And it's a chemical reaction that takes place. There's a chemical reaction that takes place in the seed. It's biological. The seed says, I am in the right conditions. Yes, boss. Yes, I am good to go. It is now in contact with it. It gets a bit of water. It gets watered. It has all the ingredients that it needs to germinate. And hi caramba, I put the lid on. I close the vents. Put it in a well-lit spot. It's now been keeping warm. I've got water, I've got contact, I've got warmth. Everything we need. Keep them closed. You will check on the watering. And this is where it gets really cool. You don't have to check on the second day. You don't even have to check on the third day. Maybe on the fourth day, you can give it a bit of water because this is forming its own little greenhouse effect. When you see it germinating, first little guy popping up, you open the vents. Okay, open the vents, and then you would need to increase your watering. As soon as they've germinated, get to what we call the 2-leaf stage or 4-leaf stages, then you're going to prick them out, okay? And this is where you really got to do this. Prick them out, put them into little pots, either bigger pots, or from there, if they're established enough, you can be brave enough and go straight into the garden. But I wouldn't suggest that you do that. I would really suggest at that point that you go into little pots like this, which you basically just plant them into, and these little guys can get planted straight into the garden. You can make your own out of cardboard or out of newspaper as well. Plant them in. Of course, there are toilet rolls that work, same thing. And then you plant them straight into the garden, and that decomposes. So that's really the 101, guys. It's very simple, it's very easy, and it is value for money. It is such value for money. And yeah, you can be a rock star gardener. Absolutely. All right. We've spoken about color. Guys, now about veggies. So autumn now, April into May, is one of the best times to sow all your winter crops. So broad beans, an amazing crop. If you've never grown broad beans, grow them now. They are insane. Their flowers are beautiful. I've got broad beans here because they need to get into the garden. They're big, so you can't really mess it up. You don't need to even worry about wearing your spectacles on that day that you sow them because the seeds are so big. Yeah, it's a broad bean. Okay, really nice and easy. I mean, look at these guys. And these as well, same thing. Soak them overnight, and you put them 1, 2, 3. You can do a second thing, and you can do that, and that. Why am I doing that, Tanya? That's like really close. What we do is we try and cheat nature, and we try and preempt the survival of the fittest. And what we do is we wait for these two to germinate. And the one that is the strongest, the one that germinates the quickest, and the one that is the strongest, that has the firmest, most upright stem, we keep him. We sacrifice the other one. Must. Choose, sacrifice, once it's germinated. And then each plant going to grow up really nice, bushy, broad bean soup. Wow, yummy. And they are so easy. And they are so giving. So giving. Of course, then it's peas, sugar snap peas. It's all your cabbage. Broccoli, cabbages, Brussels sprouts, all of those. It's a time. Where are they all now? It's time for all of those. Anything that belongs to the cabbage family. Of course, radishes, perfect now for sowing. Mini cabbages, spinach, cauliflower, Chinese cabbage do amazingly well in the cooler months. Sow them now, guys, sow them now. And this is one of our favorites, which we use as, it's giant rape. We also use it as a feed for the chickens. We put a bit in salad because, guys, it's powerful, hey? A bit in salads. And the other thing we do is we pick quite a bit of it to then, we actually just lay it on the floor of the veggie garden, which then decomposes, and it's a green manure, and it gets dug back in to the soil. Yeah, and it works. It works. Okay, so that's seed sowing, guys. That is the beginning and end, and I hope you're onto it. Get onto it. Okay, sip of coffee. Let's get going. What in the line of perennials is there that we can plant now or in the next 3 to 4 weeks that we will have abundant color, that will enjoy the cooler weather, that we can have right throughout the winter months and even into spring? Okay, come along with me over here. So, guys, when you walk into your local builders now, you are going to find loads of color. And loads of color. It is that in between. So you are going to find some of the last ends of summer, which are going to be your coleus, your begonias. But of course, if you live in a frost-free area, you can still plant these right through winter. In fact, your beautiful crotons have the most amazing foliage right throughout the winter months. But if you live in an area that receives frost and you've got one of these in the garden or in a pot, then guys, you're going to need to get out the frost cover. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's this white stuff. I'm sure if you've been living in a frost zone, you've had some before. You've got to find it wherever you hid it. Take it out, and before the first frost, follow the weather. Make sure that you cover your plants to protect them, especially if there are some of these tender late summer flowers. Very, very important, or else they are going to go to heaven. Okay, so things like crotons, also things like impatiens that would still be looking amazing in your garden. They're looking great. They're essentially a summer crop. But if you're in the areas where it's the subtropics or in the coastal areas, they will go right through winter. So do keep them and enjoy them because they do look amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, for areas where we're going into the cooler, here, and if you're living on the coast, here are some options for you. Dianthus are beautiful, also known as pinks. You'll find them at your local builders now. They are insane. They are full of sweet, 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 sweet. Full of sweet, sweet nectar. They're great for picking as well because this variety gets about that tall. Great for picking. When they get a bit tall and leggy, you just give them a quick haircut and away they come again. And of course, winter screams little snapdragons. Oh, man, mommy. Come, maak up. Leo Beckies. Come, there, come. Oh, come on, I just got to get him to the right. Come, cooperate, will you? No, stay with me. Come on. Does it? Oh, he's coming. Oh, he's being a bit difficult. Okay, hold on, Mace. I'm going to find another one here. Aibo. Come, Leo Becky. Darcy! Hello! And they're so cute. They're just gorgeous. And you can sow these by seed as well. And they're great for the kids and Tanya. Yeah, fantastic. Yes, hello. Okay. So, from the snapdragon point of view, they're the dwarf ones and they're also the tall growing varieties. Fantastic, lovely colors. Petunias, guys, if you are in the areas, wherever like KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, Gauteng, and on the coastal regions where we do not get the winter rain. Okay, so exclude Western Cape. Petunias, it's their time now. It is now their time. This is when you can be bold and go and plant them. And the fragrance, guys. This is sweet. Yeah, it's lovely. It's the only time we plant petunias in our garden because the summer rains, they really hammer them. And this is when they do best. So for pots, edges of borders, we put them everywhere. So petunias, fantastic. Remember, the only thing you've got to do is just deadhead, okay? Deadhead when it's finished flowering, when they start going over, just make sure you're deadheading and give them a good feeding. But from the color palette, there's the beautiful lilacs, there's the whites, you're going to find the picotees, which are those with the little edges. So many. Go out and just buy them. Just plant them. Okay. For those of you in the subtropics, salvias will still go right through into the winter months and look fantastic. From the reds, the yellows, to this amazing, amazing purple. So sweet. Fantastic. Pansies are also out there, guys. Pansies, gesiggies, whether it's the pansies with the bigger flowers or the violas with the little smaller flowers, get them and plant them. Remember, morning sun or afternoon shade, either or a full day sun, okay? And with pansies and gesiggies, but we'll touch on that in the next masterclass, and how to care for them. But a couple of hints and tips, but get them, plant them. Remember, preparation is all important for all of these. Doesn't matter what it is. Prepare the bed. Add in compost, hopefully your own, or a good quality from your local builders. This is a good quality compost, guys. And I say this with absolute every conviction because the bag is heavy. The bag is heavy. It feels it's got substance. And in here is some beautiful organic compost. I mean, this stuff has got warmer. You see, I can almost hold it. You see when I squash my hand, it still keeps its shape. This is very important because it shows that there's good organic matter in here. So a liberal, good thick layer of this across the area wherever you're preparing to plant. Add in some root builder, mix it in, turn it in well, and then plant your little bedding plants. Okay, it all helps. It really does. It's all in the preparation, guys. Okay, so other plants that are going to go now and right through, of course, come on. Ah, man, common as mud, but so beautiful. So pretty. Sow them, sow the packet of seed, put in the little guys for beautiful pops of color. And then this is a plant which I know you're going to find now at your local builders, and it's a new plant, which is why I wanted to speak about it. Can you believe it? It's a kufia. I mean, this blew my mind. When I saw this flower, I was like, you got to be kidding me, because a kufia in my head is, I'm not a fan of them. But when I saw this, and it's called Sweet Petite, I think, or Sweet Talk. It's called Sweet Talk, and it comes in this beautiful pink. But I mean, look at that flower. Look at that flower. And we planted a few in the garden, and the butterflies, guys, love it. Look at the detail in that flower. It's a beautiful perennial, low, compact. When it gets scraggly, you can see this guy's going to start heading there soon. Light haircut, eh? Light haircut, and away it goes again. So a really nice new addition. I think they're gorgeous. They're very, very pretty. Okay, right here. Shrubs that you can plant that are flowering now and looking their best. If you're looking for a permanent shrub that will cope with cold, and even if you're about 30 k's from the coastal areas, camellias are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. There are so many varieties. I'm not going to go into them. But what I am going to do is show you this. They are evergreen. You can buy them quite large. They come in the most amazing color palette as a small tree, as a shrub for a container. They really do beautifully. And some of them, the ones with the smaller leaves, which are called the sasanquas, have a beautiful fragrance as well. So they're really nice. Okay, guys, time is marching on. A couple of other plants that I want to show you, which are now great for the autumn and going into the winter months, are, look at this. Oh, come on, you're kidding me. Look at this. This is a Diplodenia mandivilia. Look at these colors. This is the beautiful, what red is this? This is like, shall I say robot? Yeah, it's another red too. But it's beautiful. It's lovely. Great in pots. The pale pink as well. Fantastic. So they really put on an amazing autumn and winter show. And of course, strangely enough, our azaleas also give us a beautiful autumn show. In fact, sometimes we have the best flowers produced by an azalea in the autumn months. Don't forget with your azaleas to keep them well mulched with an acid compost now through the winter, and also give them a feeding with some acid-loving plant food. Okay, I believe there's some questions up on the, where do I go to here? Do I read this one? How do I kill the root? Who? Add to the queue. No, cancel. Okay. Never mind. I'm going to view queue. Oh, right. Oh, goodness me. How do I treat my plants if they have frost damage? Very good question. Okay, guys, if you get hit by frost, whatever you do, do not run out the next morning with your secateurs and start pruning. Please do not. Leave the damage. Hold back. Go and have your nails done. Go and do something. But do not touch the plant. Allow the plants, that damaged foliage actually forms a protective layer over them in case we get another frost. You leave that. You leave it for as long as you can. And then, maybe in about 3 weeks' time, then you would then just snip off the edges that got burnt. But do not do a heavy pruning, whatever you do. It is most, most important. And remember, the frost cover, guys, does the job. The frost cover really can do the job if you're going into expecting heavy frosts, you can even double that up and make sure that it seals well on the ground. Also, do not water in the evening. Your soil must not have too much water in it, because if your soil is moist with too much water, we get hit by a frost. What happens? Water turns into icicles. Yes, you got it. Right. Okay. So, okay, we've got Shirley poppies and pansies. Yes. Californian sweet peas, all of those. Yes, you're onto it. We will share the list of seeds that you recommended. Okay, anything else that I should answer down here? No. Right, done. Okay, guys, where am I going? Oh, I forgot one. The most important one in my head for shaded areas. So, shaded areas, what can I plant during the winter months that are going to give me color? Okay. Yeah, because say I'm in an area that receives frost. Impatiens are no longer going to be okay, and neither are begonias. This is what you use, primulas, beautiful primulas. You buy them like this, guys. They are green and they don't have their flowers. This is a flower that you must buy like this. Little 6 plants. It's called Primula malacoides, the fairy primula. You get them in shades of pink, of white, and of a beautiful lilac. They are incredible in the shade. And if you've had one tray in your garden, next year, they'll just come up on their own. They'll just pop up. We've already got some popping up in the garden. They're popping up between this little crevice and that. And I'm like, how did you do that? Like, how did you get that right? You know, here we are sowing, pushing down, talking. Yeah, nature has a way, hey? So little primulas, really, really important. Okay, going into the winter months now as well, there's lots to do, guys. There's obviously loads of leaves falling, and you've got to take those and put them onto the compost heap. Do it. Do it, please. I think there's a song. Those leaves end up making the most beautiful leaf mold, which is this. And this has been made literally, directly. Oh my God, there's even a worm here. Hello, dude. Louie. Oh, sorry. Huey. Ah, good to meet you. So this is leaf mold. If you want to know how to make leaf mold, which is the gold of gardening, it is the gold of gardening. Check out the Builder's blog, guys, because there's we take you through step by step on how to make leaf mold. I'm not going to share it with you now. You got to go and find it. But this is what we call leaf mold. This is gold. This is gold for containers, for mulching, for sieving, and making your own seedling mix, for adding to your beds, because when it crumbles down, it actually forms soil. Ha. Well, you wanted to know where soil comes from. It doesn't all come from rocks. No, it's this stuff. This is gold. Absolute gold. So it leads me to mulching. If you are in areas where, like we are, whether you're going to be receiving lots of rain, whether you're going to get cold, or whether you are going to not have rain, because we are summer rainfall and you might be winter rainfall, you need to apply a thick layer of mulch, guys, because it keeps the moisture in the soil, and it also keeps the soil warm. You know, in gardening, there are such little things. It's nothing big. You don't need to go and become a professor of anything. It really is very practical. And little things like leaves, you don't even need to go and buy it. You just need to check out the blog and make your own leaf mold. Okay. Coming up now to the end, going into that cusp of autumn, guys, snails. Yes, the snails are out. They are feeding themselves up and getting them ready to go into their winter hibernation. So keep an eye out for them. I know that a lot of you are very nervous about putting down snail bait, and I get it. Because the older traditional snail baits, guys, their active ingredient was a carbamate. Okay, and it's not great stuff. If your dog has to go and eat it, if you have to eat it, yeah, it's not, yeah, anyway. So there are some new formulations out available at your local builders, which basically, and I'll open it up for you, is is a pellet or a bran, depending on which brand you buy. And guys, all this is that it's the same concept where there's a bait, and the bait is normally the bran, that's the pellets, and it has been, okay, that's what it is, so that's the bran. But on the new formulations, the bran has been impregnated with iron. So when you look at the box, look here, active ingredient, Fe, iron, which is on the periodic table. That is iron, the active ingredient. Okay, if it's got any other long word there that you can't pronounce or say, it's not the right one. Okay, begins with a C or a K. So what you do is you take this and you sprinkle it down. And guys, remember, snails this big, okay? Around a plant. And let's do the example. Nice, come and have a look here at this beautiful aloe. And guys, I haven't spoken about these, but if you haven't got aloes in your garden, especially these lovely little dwarf hybrids, which don't even have spikes, thorns on them. Look at that. I mean, this has got one too. Beautiful, amazing, amazing, amazing. If I'm going to be putting down snail bait here to control the snails, it literally is that. That's it. That is all I'm putting down. I am not putting down kilograms. Because what happens is, guys, the snail comes along, he's normally hiding here somewhere under the bushes or under a rock during the day or under a pot or somewhere. He then comes up at night, early evening, and he's going to get attracted to the bait, which is the bran. And then he eats it. What happens when the snail eats iron? What happens? Iron, when the snail metabolizes iron, it stops it from eating. Hasn't worked with me yet. I'm not a snail. This is the film crew's fault because they're busy laughing behind me. Yes, so, apologies. So when the snail eats the iron, it takes its appetite away. Okay, he then cruises off and he goes and he hides somewhere. So you won't wake up the next morning and see 10 dead snails. Okay, and then you'll say, this stuff is not working, and you put more. Guys, one application. In 2 weeks' time, another application. That's it. You don't need to go overboard. Okay, you really don't need to go overboard. But please keep an eye out for snails because now is when they start prepping. Okay, the other thing that is active. Okay, I see I've got another question. Clear queue, view queue. Oh, I'm so bad at these things. What am I doing? Yes, I'm trying. View all, view queue. Oh, there's the question. Oh, it's from Lionel. It disappeared. What is the question? What I used to kill cutworm. Oh, Lionel. Lionel, you're the newbie, hey? You're the first time on here. Okay. Lionel, I want to ask you this, and I'm not picking on you. But Lionel, how do you know it's cutworm? A lot of times, and the poor cutworm has been the brunt of so many, has been like thrown under the bus like a politician, you know. If anything goes wrong, it's Eskom's fault. That one. The poor cutworm has been accused of everything, and 9 times out of 10, it's not the cutworm. Cutworm operates as follows. And this is why I'm asking. Sorry, but this is why I'm asking. Because a cutworm, if you planted this tomato, and by the way, when you plant tomatoes, hell's bells, okay, I'm going to do it like this. When you plant tomatoes, okay, guys, when you plant tomatoes are one of those strange things that they have the ability to make roots off the side. Okay. So, to get your tomato the strongest, the healthiest, when you plant it, you bury it deep. There. You bury it deep. It's one of the only few, very, very few veggies that you actually bury deep. Because most times we tell you, don't bury the things too deep, you're going to kill them. Okay, so if it was cutworm, sorry, let's just bring this guy up here for my example. If it was cutworm, guys, this is what you would find in the morning. If you went to your veggies or whatever it was and you were in the garden, that is what cutworms do. Timber. That's it. That's what cutworms do. They literally cut off at the level where the soil and surface. They cut them off. That's their job. However, it could also be grubs. I am saying, and I could put my head on a block for this, Lionel, that I think it is snails. I honestly believe it is snails. So keep an eye out for that. And if you want to know if there are snails, tonight, take your torch or your headlamp, and I got one of those cool caps like with the light inside it, and go out there and look. And if you want to make sure that it is snails, just when you get home from work, water your garden a little bit, just a little bit, because when we've had a bit of water or a bit of rain, they come out. Okay, the snails come out. Go out there with your torch, and I'm sure you'll see. What do I use for korenkriek? What's a korenkriek? Oh, the park. Oh, that thing is so ugly. Oh, the size of those, the Parktown prawn. Ooh. Okay, they are seriously scary. You can see my whole body reaction. I really don't like those things. There are various things that you can use, guys. Lawn protector is one, which is available at your local builders. Follow the instructions. There's another product called Complete, which you can also use. And there's another one called Koinor, which you can also use, guys. Follow the instructions, dilute it, and you basically put it on over your lawn with a watering can. Okay. Keep the dogs and cats off for an hour until it's dry. Okay. And you're good to go. All right. Okay. Ants. Ants are working hard now to prepare their dens, their roosts, their nests for the winter months. So they are active, man. You've seen it in the sugar bowl. You've seen it everywhere. So there are various ways that you can deal with ants. Remember, talcum powder as a little electric fence works brilliantly if you're trying to keep them out the house. That does work. It just means you got to keep repeating the talcum powder. There are other ways that are incredibly safe, guys. They are safe. And they're safe. We use them. And we've got pups and we've got dogs. So, yeah, that's what we do. These little stations work incredibly well for indoor use or even on the patio, anywhere on windowsills. And all you do is you get these little guys. You just pull this here. Okay. You pull that there. Okay. And you twist it. And there's your bait station. It's as simple as that. If your ants are walking in a row, here are the ants. This is the line they're walking in. You're watching them go to the sugar bowl. You do not take this bait station and go, "Nya, got you." No, this is not a policey roadblock. Okay? You do not do that because ants are smart. They are clever. If you put that directly in their path, they will just do this. They will go around. Okay, do not. You have to, if that's the ants, you have to put it here. They have to find it. Okay, they have to find it. They will find it. They take this and they take it back to their nest and they'll either feed the young larvae and that will work. There are other ready-to-use products which you can literally just spray on them, but stations, guys, I much prefer stations. There's a question, why are my roses leggy at the bottom? Ooh, good question. Mareka, yes. Okay, I'm assuming that they're looking a bit leggy because you didn't do a summer prune, but that's okay, don't stress. I am interested as to where you live, but it's not going to really affect. What I want you to do is the following. It is quite common that your roses will now start looking a bit leggy by the end of summer, but all is not lost. So get your pair of secateurs, go out there, remove a third of the bush. Remove a third of the bush, so it's a light pruning. Third of the bush, remove that, give them a good feeding, because you can still get a nice flush now. You can still get a good flush before we go into the real cold, okay? So light pruning. And you've got to spray. You might see that your leaves, you might have lost your leaves because it could be because of a fungal infection. Keep up your watering and feed. What are you going to feed with? Guys, there are so many things. There's the 315 Organic. There's Ludwig's Vigorosa. There's Bio Ocean, which is great because it's got seaweed in it, plus it's got chicken litter. Okay, there's Vita Green. Ignore that Vita Green. Are you in Kempton Park? That's fine. You still follow what I'm doing. Or you feed with 515, please. So give them a good feeding. Keep up the watering, a good deep watering once a week. Give them that light pruning, and you will get a beautiful flush coming through. Yeah, they can still give you an amazing flush. So please do that. Okay, ants. We've spoken about ants. That's the deal. If you harvested termites, guys, harvested termites, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. Walk around the garden. Powers of observation, by grasses, by pathways. Keep an eye out for them because, my goodness, they can be super destructive. The same thing with snail bait, with your termite bait. It comes in a packet. It comes in a packet for a very good reason. When you are going to apply it, you cut a little hole in the packet. You do not touch the bait. Why? When you touch the bait, the ants smell the human and they will not touch the bait. Okay, so sprinkle small amounts around, very small amounts. And remember, you're not putting it on top of the nest. You're putting it on the side because it's a bait. You want them to find it, and they will then take this and go take it back into the nest. Yeah, so there's lots. Last thing, weeds in the lawn. Now is the time. Lift your mowing height of your lawnmower. Lift it ever so slightly because you'll notice you're slowing down on how often you're mowing the lawn. Give it its last good feed. What do we feed it with? So many options, guys. We use Bioorganic for lawns. Bioorganic for lawns. It's in a beautiful, fine, almost powdery, very, very fine. It does a good job, and it's going to give right now. We applied some about 10 days ago when we had some rain running around like Mary Poppins, and that is going to give us a good new thickening just for that last kind of push into winter. And the weeds I'll talk about next time because you've still got a bit of time on your hands there, so just hang tight. Guys, finally, let me get that out the way. Remember that at your local builders, all you need is right there. You've got the products. Here's the information. Everything that I've shared today and more is packed between these pages. From me and from all the other amazing writers that contribute to the Gardener in Detail Need. From inspiration to quick hacks, to how to get it right, to what to plant, to what to sow, to what to harvest and how to cook it. It is all here. So, do not fear, because we got you covered. You can pick either one of these up at your local builders, and if they don't have it, go and knock on someone's shoulder and ask them where they can find it. Guys, remember to check out the blog, the Builders blog. That's at builders.co.za. If you've missed today and you're only going to watch in a few hours' time, remember that. And if you want to share this with a friend, remember it always stays up there. So you just got to, instead of scrolling down, you scroll in reverse. Okay, and then you can get to it and you can watch it again. It is a beautiful time in the garden, guys. Get out there and make the most of it. And you don't even perspire as much. Guys, from me to you, take care of you and yours. And most importantly, happy gardening.